Here's another League of Legends game coming your way, this time as Lux Mid, as the title implies. This is a post-game commentary, if you can't tell from the way I'm talking. So right here we have the Troll, which kind of confused me because he's top. He's not like one of those guys who will troll when field support, but yeah. So right there is why you'll see the person on our team on why I would consider this to be a 4v4. That Fiddle is never going to amount to anything. Anyway, this is game 2 of the promo series to Gold 5, I think it is. Yeah, I think it's Silver 1 to Gold 5. So for the entire promo series I will be playing mid lane. I'm only going to show games 2 and 4. The first one was another Lux game, but it plays out somewhat similarly to this one. The only difference is the jungler in that one is much better at rolling over and doing nothing, while the Sejuani here is much more aggressive. So anyway, for the team comp, you can see we have Blitz and Sedge locked in. That's a bit of a tank line that can kind of protect us. Meanwhile, the enemy side, they have Rakan. I don't really see him as like a bodyguard type, even though he is pretty annoying with just how sheer mobile he is. Then they have Lee as the jungler, and my opponent is Cassiopeia there. And right there is the guy who is going to stomp the hell out of the Fiddlesticks. So I was kind of tempted to pull up the replay and see what Fiddle actually maxes first in this matchup because he just sucks. And in case you're wondering, the guy on the enemy team who does pretty poorly is the Lee Sin jungle. You will see me troll the hell out of this guy over the course of the game. I'd like to say I'm understating things, but no, he makes some questionable stuff that I am more than happy to punish. So right here is my response to why I take Flash and Ghost whenever I go mid. It's basically no faith in jungler type thing. In the event I get camped, I ain't gonna show my page real quick, but I'll talk about that in a second. In the event I get camped, I can more easily escape. I have a little bit better survivability, and you'll see what I mean in this game. So yes, in retrospect, it did seem kind of rude sounding, but like you'll see with how one of my things that I do to Lee. I'll leave it at that, so you aren't entirely spoiled. Just know the Flash and Ghost does matter here. Now, as for masteries, this game I wanted to try putting all the points in meditation. I'm running Thunderlords, as you can see there. And basically my thought process, in case you're wondering, is just I can stay further back and probably get more spells off if I have more points in meditation. I do get the Immortal which gives you 400 MP. I get the MP from just leveling up. I'm not running any sort of MP increasing rune or mastery, just the one regen aspect of meditation. And Lux is one of the most mana-hungry mids in the game. Like, if Riot want her to get more play, I seriously would recommend just lowering the cost of her E. That is one of the single best things you can do since it'll enhance her wave clear somewhat. Anyway, as for the game itself, you notice both Vayne and Lucian are running Warlords. That's good news for Vayne, I'd say, because she should have the advantage then. As for Cassiopeia, she is running Deathfire Touch. She's getting indirectly nerfed in the new season when they take that out because the dot casters, Singed, Mals, and so on, they won't have a keystone anymore. As for Lee, he's running Thunderlords, which makes me more inclined to believe he's intending to, try to go assassin-like rather than tanky. And if your Singed is running Ghost and Ignite, I would imagine you'd probably expect him to go more AP-ish rather than tanky. But as you can see, he's also running Deathfire Touch. Fiddlesticks is running Thunderlords. I don't actually know how that works relating to his Drain or anything. I already kind of spoiled it for you that he's going to get horribly, horribly, horribly crushed. Almost single-handedly costing us this game. As for Blitz, he's running Thunderlords too. He's running Ignite, so he's going for more of an aggressive type thing. I think when I did Blitz, I did Courage of the Colossus, because if you hook someone and knock them up, they're right there in front of you, and then you have the shield to actually absorb anything they happen to throw your way. Overall, I'd say the Ignite probably is the right call, because we do need something to inflict grievous wounds on Singed while he's at high health. My Morellonomicon will do that later, and then I don't remember if Vayne gets a Mortal Reminder or not, but it's generally a good idea. Meanwhile, Orkan, on the other hand, is running Wind Speakers. So one of the things I can talk about, when I logged into League today, I got a second Honor Capsule, so that's going towards the unboxing at the end of Worlds event. I was kind of hoping I could have picked up Rakan by now, but I did spend all of my IP on Champion Mastery tokens to get shards. I disenchanted the shards into Blue Essence. And if you're wondering why that is, I got a few 6300 characters, which I turned into Blue Essence, which will in turn be multiplied by 6 when the conversion of Blue Essence to IP takes place. So if you have a lot of IP sitting in your pocket, you can get a lot of Blue Essence by getting the shards. Just make sure to keep the shards of the characters you actually want to get the mastery stuff on. So I now have 2 Kennen shards, 2 Ivern shards. And in case you're wondering, yes, I did pick up Blood Moon Kennen. So, as per my usual on Lux, I like to start Q at level 1. I'm still going to max E first and everything, it's just the significance of Q is, should they try to invade, I can hold them at bay, separate the team, dissuade them at times. All sorts of fun stuff. The flip side of the argument here, though, is we have the Blitz. They're probably anticipating us to invade, because he pulls, I bind, Vayne kills. It's pretty simple. And in case you're wondering why Lux, why I even picked her this game, since I knew I was up against a Cassiopeia and everything. For one, I wanted range. I didn't really want to spam Vel'Koz too much, because I consider him to be my number 2 mid lane pick, Mal's being number 1. And if you remember, I said in Flex Q I'm going to play things I normally don't. I used to play a lot of Lux, but just with changes to the game, items, stuff like that, I stopped playing mid entirely, so I kind of stopped playing her too. So right there I missed the first minion. And now I can't actually tell if Cass is getting these last hits with her E, because the E does really low damage at level 1. It was pretty bad in the first place, but Riot nerfed it even further. So right there you can see she hit me, and I'd say the Deathfire Touch does more damage than the spell itself. So Cass is one of those level 2s you have to watch out for, because if she can land her poison, she just spams her Twin Fang, she heals as she does it, and it can force you out of lane fairly easily.
I'll lead the way to victory.
Now the good news is, until she gets the tier, the Twin Fang actually will run her out of MP fairly quickly. She gets a refund if she last hits with it, and then when she has the tier, she actually gets another refund on top of that. So yes, I just bound him in front of tower. Tower shots for both of them. Picking that he's there in case Sejuani wanted to try something, because he's one hit away from dying. And unfortunately, like, you saw that didn't work. And he's the type of player who, if something doesn't work, he's going to keep trying it and trying it and trying it until it does. So right there I'm clearing out the shot. Right there we get her flash. You'll know she's practically Then summoner spell-wise, I believe she's running barrier, so just keep in mind with this little mana, she's not really going to do anything. Now, I thought Sedge was actually going to loop around the top side of the bend, because for all we know that's warded. Based on the way she's moving, it very well could be. And I don't actually have enough AP or points in my E to actually bounce this into the tower just yet. So, real quick, in case... Actually, I should explain how Lux works. I'll talk about the new runes later on if nothing happens. So, for Lux, your passive is Lucent Singularity. This is actually very important to my trolling of Lee. So, when you land a damaging spell on an enemy, be it your E, your Q, your ult, what have you, you will mark them with a light marker of sorts. And then you can either auto-attack them or ult them to detonate the mark, which will in turn deal bonus damage.
Gold becomes goods. Basic economic alchemy.
Sorry there, I'm just grabbing the Amp Tome to further enhance my damage. So the damage on your Lucent Singularity, I believe, is like 10 times your level plus some AP. And it can catch people off guard, as it will Lee. Q is Light Binding. This is a... well, all Lux's stuff are skill shots. You fire out this little beam of light, it hits 2 targets max. Whoever it hits will be rooted in place, marks them with light, yada yada yada. W is Prismatic Barrier. You will throw out this little baton. Every ally that gets hit by the baton will be shielded. And then if anyone gets shielded on the way out, it shields for twice as much on the way back in, I think. And the shield is additive. It doesn't necessarily just refresh, if I remember correctly.
Never give up.
So right here I'm trying to bounce into the tower, by the way. E is Lucent Singularity. It's that little ball of light I threw on the ground right there. So right here I'm throwing this in the tower to make it a little more difficult for her to last hit. So the ball itself will slow anything that happens to be within that circle. You can detonate it early, it'll pop on its own over time.
Banish the shadow.
Unfortunately, it is really pricey in terms of cost. It's Lux's primary wave clear, and it doesn't actually clear as well as a lot of the other characters' stuff because Lux is intended to use her passive to wave clear too. You'll see this when I actually do ult waves, and at times I do recommend doing this on Lux just because her ult has such a low cooldown. And that's one of the reasons why I want to talk about some of the new runes and masteries. So right here my stuff is on cooldown, so she's going all in. You'll see Fiddle has died for the 3rd time now, I think.
A beam through the dark.
Then finally your ult is Final Spark.
Don't let my sunny disposition fool you.
This is a fairly good-sized range ult. It's not a global or anything fancy like that, it's just long range. Lux will channel for like half a second. There'll be a red marker indicating where it's going, and then... hey, it's our buddy Lee. Pinging that Lee is right there. Because remember, if it doesn't work, he tries and tries again.
A candle in the dark. A beacon to the world.
So right here I'm just trying to conserve a little bit of mana in case Sejuani does want to do something.
Have no fear. Light is but one of many paths.
And that's pretty much what I mean by it's your wave clear. So anyway, in terms of the new runes, I don't remember which one it is that increases, well, it reduces the cooldown of your ult every time you use it. I have a feeling something like that is probably going to be core on Lux because you can get the ult cooldown to something like 10 seconds, I think, with resets. And that's just sheer insanity.
Anything is possible.
So in that regard, I'd say Lux is being indirectly buffed, especially if some of the other runes will actually help her. One of the big things you actually have to look for with her is going to be mana regeneration and what the final numbers are on whatever source that is. Just because there's no mana regen for mid laners anymore. So right there, Sedge gets the kill. She actually waited long enough for the Cassiopeia flash to come back, which is kind of bad, but we still made it work. It did cost us our ults and everything. By the way, you'll notice Fiddle came mid, but he actually didn't do anything. So hey, it's singed.
Use of surveillance is elementary warfare.
Since no ward came in the brush, I figured, yeah, he's waiting for me to show up. So right here, I just wanted to get the Thunderlord's proc on him. That way, if he sticks around, we can possibly kill him. And I don't know if I've shown the nature form just yet. But in case you're wondering, yes, I will be doing a different form than any of the other ones today. So right here, I'm using my spells to bait her in because we know she did that last time. And yeah. So she dies to my E. And I don't remember if I'm running Bounty Hunter or not. But if I am, that's the first stack. So yeah, I think I've missed most cannons by now. Right here I'm dropping the pink ward and I want to go back. That's pretty much why I ulted the wave in the first place. Sedge makes the mistake of chasing Singed. Just trying to give that to Fiddle.
Living life to the full.
I was hoping by doing that it might scare Lee off so that they don't dive the Fiddle, but he kind of screws this up. He needed to save his fear for when Singed grabbed him. He didn't, so he gets away. So right here I want Lucid Boots because I know I'm going to be getting attention from Singed. Plus being able to dodge the Cassiopeia stuff since her Q and W are skill shots, it's going to be pretty handy.
It's important to stay grounded.
But anyway, video's getting close to being half over, so we do need to start getting our whole trolling of Lee Sin into progress, don't we? Overall, I'm a little bit disappointed in this form. I kind of wanted a bit more from it, but the other thing I don't like is that another cannon gone. There's magma for like a stronger fire form. You have here we go. So there's the Q. Here's the bind. So right there, I did 2 passive procs on him in case you can see. So Q. Auto, that procced Thunderlords and just detonate the light binding, or not the light binding, the luminosity, or whatever her passive is called, I forgot exactly. Then I E'd him for more burst damage, and then I autoed him one more time. So that was technically like 4 spells, counting the passive, and then the 2 auto attacks. So yes, I chunked him extremely hard there, and it gave us a free dragon for 1, and I have red buff now, so Cassiopeia does have to watch out for that. So now in the event she actually does land her poison on me, I just have to auto attack her and then her movement speed is gone. What's worse for her is I actually killed Lee without using my ult there.
Listen to the hum of the land.
So if you notice, here comes Singed yet again.
Our enemies could be anywhere.
Since we know he's there, I'm trying to move towards the other side of the lane. But Lee doesn't learn. So here comes the ult. He dodged it. Nice job, Lee. You're completely safe. I have no way to harm you in any way, shape, or form. Except this.
Enrich the earth.
So keep in mind that was a 3-man gank, and I'm the guy who gets the kill in it. That's really painful for them.
Economic alchemy.
So the Singed Roam gives them literally nothing. It started to delay the whole first tower thing. It's just Fiddle is such a non-factor that there's not really anything we can do to stop him.
Your turret has been destroyed.
You can see Fiddle is kind of rushing Zonia's, kind of doing nothing.
Nurture that
Shut
which nurtures
down.
us.
And I just noticed Fiddle has Mastery 7?
Tear them out by the roots.
I wonder if I should look into doing a Singed game. I imagine with the meditation stuff, he's probably actually pretty good now, especially with his new passive.
Only sorrow come to this. Life finds a way.
So unfortunately around this stage, the whole cast E will actually start to matter a bit. So right there, she dodged everything I have. As a result, I have to just shield Sedge and let Sedge do the dirty work. So had I not shielded Sedge, she would have actually died on her tower. You can see she can just go over the chicken camp and heal.
Nature is uncompromising.
So you can see the Sedge is much, much friendlier than the normal person I play with. Unfortunately for the other promo game, you will see me mute someone extremely early.
The land reclaimed.
And for promo game 1, the pinging actually got so bad I just muted everyone. So this one was definitely a lot more refreshing.
Never underestimate the power of nature.
So keep in mind Lee is down here, there's just nowhere else for him to go. You can probably guess why I'm mentioning that in the first place. So I was wondering, is this pink warded?
Go back to my roots.
Now notice all my spells are up. Oh hey, there's the Lee Q. So let's move a little bit over here. Let's start recalling.
That's something.
So keep in mind the Lee Q has like an 8-second cooldown, which is the same as my recall. Let's walk away and...
Will to win.
Oh hey, there's Lee. Hi Lee.
How can I help?
Has destroyed turret.
Yeah. So my big concern was, while all this was going on, is this is probably too obvious to work. But it did.
An
So sometimes you can see it doesn't hurt to try.
Does this come in multiple colors?
So I'm just grabbing the needlessly large rod here for massive AP. I'm going to be going into Zonia's Hourglass next just because there's 2 dots on the field I have to worry about, the Singed and Cassiopeia. And Singed is building AP because he didn't have a lane opponent. He had a free lane.
Creation meanders, and so must
So one of
I.
the nice things is I am running the scaling MR blues. Those may not be a thing in the future, we have to kind of see. In which case, I don't know how
Let's see what
a
we
lot
can
of these
do.
numbers are going to play out in the future, since no MR is going to be one of the things that helps, or at least no significant MR will be one of the things that helps dot mages. Mages in general, but especially dot ones, I'd say. For the burst mages, they generally build penetration in the first place, and I imagine those items can't exist in their current form unless something changes. So right there, I was hoping Lucian would walk over towards the blast cone. So since Lucian is so mobile, landing skill shots on him is extremely tough.
An ally has been slain.
Right there we lose Fiddle, but that's kind of been a trend throughout this game.
Finally, flowers bloom.
And I realize, hey, there's nothing I can really do down there, so let's just push mid.
The seeds of conflict bear bitter fruit.
So overall, I wasn't really expecting much from this. But if you notice, no one's actually answering my push. Kind of sucked there that they were looping around the tower on the other side.
Nature advances, so must I.
So there we go. Mountain Dragon lets me do the last hit, and we basically now have the mid lane completely open.
Destroyed a turret.
So that's what I was talking about for the invade earlier. Blitz pulls, I snare, Vayne kills. So right here, I have no idea why Blitz and Vayne walk top. I was legitimately confused. We see Singed, we can catch him off guard, do what we did to Rakan. Too complicated. I don't know why she waited so long on her condemn either. And it cost her life. So here's the Crow Storm, but it actually doesn't do anything. Because he has no items. So right here they ace us. And I'd say largely this is due to Blitz and Vayne moving up when there wasn't really any reason to.
Your turret has been destroyed.
That could have gone better.
As for how our team is designed, we are very much a pick comp. We either want to lead off with the Sejuani ult or the Blitz hook and then just pile on someone. And yeah. So the aftermath of all that is we're going to lose mid.
Welcome to natural selection. Listen to the hum of the land.
Your turret has been destroyed.
My bark is worse than my bite.
So unfortunately, look at the minimap. You'll see the first problem we have here. So notice anyone out of position. Someone without teleport. And that's going to be one of the things that starts to cost us the mid game, since Fiddle's pretty much done feeding. He's not going to do anything anymore, he's not worth gold, he's essentially AFK, but he's walking around the map. So right here, if we can get a pick, we can do something. But unfortunately that Singed is really fed. And at this stage of the game, there's no fucking reason for Vayne to be bot. Literally none. She's screwing around the base when there's stuff on the map to take.
Ally has been slain.
So right here is when I actually fully call out Vayne on this. Why are you over there? Let's ask the $1,000,000 question, why aren't you? So I say, hey Vayne, since you like split pushing so much, teleport into the Baron. And unfortunately I'm going to start a surrender vote every single time Vayne does this split pushing bullshit. You can see it literally does nothing. Luckily Sejuani does make a clutch steal, but we don't get to take advantage of that because no one's going to survive this.
Enemy is unstoppable.
Sadly, one of those things I wish would change about the game is the whole split push AD carry thing being a bannable offense. Right now we're in a meta where the AD carries are pretty much the single strongest guy. If yours does not want to group, you've literally lost the game before anything can be said or done. You have no input or anything. It's literally over. So to give you an example, look at Lucian. He is a million times more valuable than Vayne right now. And if Vayne actually groups with us, she can condemn him away, she has longer range than him. There's lots of things that can be done, but instead she wants to screw around. So notice where she is right now. Keep in mind there's no minions down there. Based on the vision, we know there's no one down there.
None can withstand molten
I was kind of hoping I could have gotten something out of him right there by throwing out the prismatic barrier. And then I don't know what Lee was planning on doing right here.
so we must combat.
So once he gets stunned in place by Sedge, we should just beat him down. So unfortunately right there, that was a gold reset for Fiddle, but if I am running Bounty Hunter, I already have Lee's stack, so it's not really a big deal to me.
Shut down.
So that's pretty big right there. We got 10 stacks off of Singed's Magi's. Eventually we will get those off, and then he's going to sell that for a Thorn Mail so he can deal with Vayne.
Fire in my veins, but my heart is hard.
So now Vayne has arrived at the fight. They're in range, so here we go. Gives me the Rakan kill, but I can't get anything else. And now keep in mind, if we actually group like this, we can do this a lot more often.
The ground will boil and shake.
Pull, snare, kill. It's really that easy, rinse and repeat. Especially since Fiddle is such a non-factor this game, we really do need the Vayne to be with us so that we have an additional source of damage. So luckily all my work earlier does come to fruition here since we did manage to get the mid inhibitor. The one thing that would have been nice though is if Blitz did land that hook. See, I threw my Q out anticipating he would. So right here we can walk out, try to sweep some of the stuff as we go.
If I must.
So right here we all collapse on the Earth Dragon, and it's pretty secure in the first place, but it doesn't hurt to show a little bit of solidarity, you know.
Magma transforms dull stone into sleek obsidian.
So right here I have enough to go ahead and finish my Zonias. And like I said, I wanted that for the dots, that way if Singed goes all in on me or something from Cass,
Receive a discount?
I can have something to try to preserve myself. But anyway, we now have the Blasting Wand. I'm going to be going into the Death Cap next so that I can try to burst Singed down low enough to where the Grievous Wounds will kick in and then his ult won't heal him as much.
Nothing can stop me.
So unfortunately right there I did get too close, and you can see how much damage all this AP is doing. Fiddle screws us over so damn hard here, and what's worse is he's going to keep taking the blue buff, unaware that he can't do anything with it. So right here I'm waiting for the next light binding. And yeah, no Susan bot lane. So right there, Vayne single-handedly cost us the fight, so you know what that means. I also like this excuse. Wait for it. So she wanted to stop the push. You didn't stop it, asshole. You just lost us a fight. That's it. Like, if she actually did repel Lucian, there'd be a little bit of an argument to be made, but all she did is kill the support, die herself, and still lose the tower. Cannot stress enough, I would love for that to be a bannable offense for AD carries. If you do not want to play, like, you're giving them single most important role on the team. And if you're going to screw around with it, you shouldn't be playing. So yeah, right there I just ulted them so I could afford the death cap. So right there, that gives me a little bit more AP, but I still have a whole penetration problem to worry about, so next I need a Void Staff. Like, best case scenario for me would be Void Staff into Leandries, and I think I actually do use this exact build on the next promo game. It's not as Lux though, don't worry. So Fiddle dies, nothing new. We managed to kill Lee and Rakan, so this would be a great time to do a Baron. By some miracle we actually got Vayne out of the bot lane. And I should point out that we do need that Scuttle Crab because Singed is going to come in here. We need some mobility to try to kite him around or do something to stall. But if you notice, Lucian isn't coming, so That might have deterred him. That Baron pit is especially dangerous around Singe because he's fed, he's AP, and Baron does lower your MR, so he's going to be dealing even more damage than normal. Actually, now that I think about it, Abyssal Mask wouldn't have been a bad final item either, since that could be MR, regen.
Not in defiance.
Would also amplify my magic damage. So right there, you peel the back minions away, so Blitz can land his hook, and then Singe just walks into the back line. That's literally the end of the fight.
An ally has been slain.
So we have one guy alive that's still in the bot lane.
An ally has been
Yeah,
slain.
teammates. That's all I can say. So keep in mind he did blind pick Fiddle, but the better question is, why are you blind picking Fiddle? It's one thing if you're jungling, but he is not a very good blind pick. If the enemy team can interrupt his drain, there's literally nothing he can do. And Singe Fling actually does.
Get back out there.
And to be completely honest, if we actually grouped, I'd say the game would be ending right now. But the team is seriously trying to lose this game.
You'll regret this. Fear the searing ground. Just sink this in the molten stone. There.
So right here we don't have vision on anyone. So the big question is, where are they going to come from?
Shouldn't be pushing me.
So if we're able to pile on our CC and actually fucking group, we can do that. And with Singed off the table, they don't really have anything big to use against us. To make things even better, we only use the Vayne ult, so we still all have our ults to do any sort of follow-up fight. So right there I was hoping I'd actually knock Lucian low enough to where the Grievous Wound would kick in, and then Rakan and his lifesteal wouldn't be as effective. But Singed has essentially bought them enough time to where they've started to come to being threats in their own right. So we paid that price just to take the inhibitor we took earlier. Hey, they're Singed. So he needs to fear him. Fiddle will get away. He has to really work for it, but he does. So right there, one more fear. And he seriously was going to try walking down before I pinged the blast cone for him. Here you get to see him take the blue buff and do nothing with it. Overall, I don't really need it because, like I said, I have the meditation mastery, and then we do have a water dragon, I believe, which is going to even further enhance my regen. It's just, games like this are so hard to win when your team doesn't want to win.
Magma is the Earth's blood. I don't spill it lightly. Boiling up from the depths.
Right there, I should have enough to get the Void Staff now. In terms of MR, I need to see if Singed has his Spirit Visage or something.
Does this come in
But
multiple
the one
colors?
thing is I can start to finally poke through him.
An enemy has been
Lee
slain.
goes down.
The
land will turn to flame.
And overall, Sedge going back right now is not necessarily a bad call because she may hit an item breakpoint. We don't have to worry about lead, there's no big objective to contest, there's no Baron or Dragon on the field, for example. And then she can dash through walls and everything, so if we really need to, she could get over here somewhat quickly. But anyway, right here we're looking for the next pick.
There's fire in my veins, but my heart is hard as stone.
So right here is the final battle.
Vision helps me better protect those.
So I'm dropping my E to serve as a slow. Waiting for the next light binding. Down goes Singed. So Fiddle shows up, he ults in, but the fight's already over. So I cannot stress it enough, had we just grouped, if we had Vayne with us, it's not an easy game to lose. It's actually more difficult to throw this than it is to win it. But the team just didn't want to group. Everyone wanted a fucking split push. So right here I'm honoring Sedge because she's the only one who didn't piss me off other than Blitz. You can see that's the second win of the promo. Rank is A+. I don't know if that was Sedge or Blitz who gave that to me. In terms of damage, I'm number 2. You can see Singed was pretty much their team. Cass got crushed early, but she started to get back into the game just because they drew it out and the team didn't play right. But anyway, that's Lux for you guys. I'm the Hero of Light. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.